Hello and welcome back to our Bible story time. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Each day we're reading stories from the Lectionary Story Bible, which is by Ralph Milton. And we're so grateful Ralph has given his permission for his stories to be shared. Today we're reading a story from Matthew 11, verses 2 to 11, and it's called You Are Just as Important. The prophet named John traveled to many places in Israel. He helped people understand how to live God's way. I have a message from God, John said. A very important person is coming, someone who will show you what God is like. Many people gathered to hear John talk about this wonderful person. When the king of Israel heard about it, he was afraid. If this kind of person is coming, he might want to be king instead of me. Tell John to stop talking about it. But John didn't stop. He couldn't stop. I have to say what God tells me to say. So the king locked John in jail. After John had been in jail for a long time, somebody told him that Jesus was going to different places in Israel. Jesus was telling people how much God loved them. He was showing them how to live in God's way. So John sent a message to Jesus. Are you the one we've been waiting for? Are you the person God told me about? Jesus smiled when he heard John's message. Go tell John what you have seen happening. Tell him blind people can see and deaf people can hear. Tell John that people with sore legs and feet can walk again. Poor people hear the good news that God loves them very much, too. Then Jesus talked to the people gathered around him. Do you remember John? He was sometimes called the baptizer because he often baptized people in the river. That's where he baptized me. There is nobody in the whole world that is more important than John. Nobody. Then Jesus took the hand of a child. But here is a wonderful surprise. He lifted the child up into his arms. God loves you very much, Jesus said to the child. God thinks you are just as important as the prophet John. I'm so glad that you can join us for our story time today, and I hope you'll join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.